Welcome, welcome to the Ottawa um, Business Consultant podcast. This is formerly the So Much Better podcast, and today's guest is Brian Mayne. I have a bio to read. Brian Mayne is a global speaker, a best-selling author, and creator of goal mapping systems, helping people since 1995 to increase success in corporate, education, and direct sales around the world. Voted UK Speaker of the Year in 2010 and National Training Award winner in 2005, Brian has been helping people to achieve their dreams for over 30 years. His world-leading goal mapping success system has reached over 6 million people, including 1 million school children. Brian has an unusual start in life, born into a traveling funfair family with a nomadic childhood. He left school before the age of 13 with no qualifications and little ability to read and write. His family funfair business ended in the 1990s. Brian lost what seemed like everything: his income, his home, his marriage. He was 29 years old and £1 million in debt. It was at this seemingly low point that Brian discovered the keys to success. What you could change, that you can change your life by changing your thoughts and feelings about it. Using simple but powerful techniques, Brian learned the science of positive thinking and goal setting, and through them gradually transformed himself and his life. Brian's successful teachings are used by leading organizations and networks around the world, helping people from all walks of life and all ages to do their best and achieve their best results. Welcome, Brian. And first of
Thank you.
all, yeah, yeah. First of all, I want to show our viewers, I want to share my screen and I want to show our viewers um, some um, some of my early experience with goal mapping and where I was when I in 2009 I was over 400 pounds, and this is a picture of me in 2009, over 400 pounds. And I'm going to show you after I achieved losing over 250 pounds. This is a picture of me in 2021.
Wow.
And I'm going to show you my my first goal map that I when I met Brian Mayne in June 2013. And back then we did our goal maps on paper. And this was at a Platinum Partner event in South Africa. And I wrote that I wanted to achieve on the scale 135 pounds. And this was my losing weight goal map. And this is the right brain side of the goal map, the pictures, the diagrams. And this is the left side of the brain, the words that I had written to reach the goal of 135 pounds of body weight by the 5th of September 2013, or September 1st, 2013. Of course, it took longer than that, but this was my whole plan. And Brian's going to describe goal mapping to you. And this is uh, my goal map for 2026, my best year yet goal map in 2026. And you can see that goal mapping has evolved. And now we use pictures for the right side of the brain. And we use words. And Brian's going to describe this in the interview. But you can see now we do it online. and we use more sophisticated tools, but it's the same sort of outline. And I'll stop sharing. But welcome, Brian, and maybe you want to say a few words before we get started.
I think the first thing I want to say, Sophie, is well done. Well done. What an achievement.
Yes, thank you.
I'm really,
Goal mapping was a big part of my achieving my weight loss transformation.
I'm very pleased to hear that it helped you. It's been quite a journey for you, I know. It's a pleasure to be here on your podcast and to share some information. I think what you just showed with your pictures and your goal maps goes to the essence of why goal mapping works. Because, as you said, you have imagery in the goal map for your right brain, and you have words in the goal map for the left brain. Left brain and right brain equal creative mind and logical mind. And when we are setting goals, we need to be both creative to imagine and think about what we would like to achieve in the future. And we need to be logical so that we can quantify the goal and we can make a plan and aim for a target date to achieve the goal. People still do their goal maps on paper sometimes, but more and more people are using the digital goal mapping, as you showed for your goal map this year, your best life for 2026. Because with digital goal mapping, there are many advantages. And those advantages are that you can use personal pictures, which have more power than drawing, and you can change and update your map easily, and you can extend your map into more and more detail. And for people that are using goal mapping for weight loss or fitness, it's important to be able to give the extra detail because sometimes that is the diet plan you will follow or the exercise routine that will be important. And sometimes that detail needs to be extended into an action plan or a to-do list. But I am super impressed with what you've achieved on paper or online. And you have been now a very regular person with goal mapping since I got to know you at that Tony Robbins Platinum Partner event where we first met.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. So I have some questions to ask you, Brian. So I'll start with the first question. Brian, what drew you into goal mapping and what key lessons have shaped your journey that you believe others need to hear?
So goal mapping came through a single flash of insight. After 1 year of asking what is the best way to set goals, I had this flash of insight, which has become goal mapping. And what makes it work so well is the combination of words and pictures to stimulate both sides of the brain and to activate our creative mind and our logical mind. And it's been a 30-year journey now of gradually defining the system and sharing the system with lots of people around the world. And the thing that is probably so amazing for me is that I never realized in the early days how many people would use it. It's now more than 6 million. And in so many different areas of life, because people are using it in well-being and weight loss. There are many diet organizations that have adopted goal mapping as their system for success. But equally, it's being used by businesses, big businesses like Microsoft, Siemens, Disney, Coca-Cola, but also small businesses. And it's helping people in their financial freedom. It's helping people to create more harmony in their relationships. It's helping students with their education. It's helping sports people. Anywhere where someone wants to achieve something, this simple but universal and very powerful system for success has a proven track record over the last 30 years, reaching out around the world. And there really hasn't been a lot of marketing or fancy sales or anything like that. It has been people like you, Sophie, that have tried it, liked it because it's helped you achieve something, and they are then recommending it to others. And I know that for yourself, you were so pleased with the results that you decided to become one of the people certified to teach and coach and share it to others.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So I'll go on to the next question. Brian, what inspired you to pioneer goal mapping, and how did your journey begin in creating this powerful system?
The journey began because of what you mentioned briefly in the introduction, which is that my family business that was started by my father came to an end in the recession. We had a bad recession here in the United Kingdom in the late 1980s, early 1990s. And the family business ended. And because I'd had an unusual childhood and not much schooling because of being born into a traveling gypsy circus family, I had no qualifications. I left school very early and I couldn't read or write properly, and I didn't know what I would do. And I joined a sales company because it was an opportunity that was open to me without needing qualifications or much past experience. And I wasn't very good at sales in the beginning. The turning point was that the sales company put on a personal development workshop. And for me, it was learning that there is a science to positive thinking that made the big difference. I used the science of positive thinking to overcome my learning barriers, teach myself to read well, because at age 29, I still couldn't read or write properly. And I used the positive thinking strategies that I was learning to boost my sales performance. And all of that started me on a journey of personal development, which led me away from sales and into management training. And I become certified in the work of many other trainers. And I started my full-time training and coaching career at around about age 32, I think I was, maybe 33, when I joined a training company in London, and I've been doing it ever since.
Okay, thank you. Who was the most influential person in shaping your career, and how did their impact influence your approach to goal mapping?
I think there are two influential people. The first one was the trainer that I met in England before I was a trainer. When I was a salesperson, I met him. His name is Mike Rosewarne. His name was Mike Rosewarne. He died quite young. He was the person that introduced me to goal setting, not goal mapping, but the idea of setting goals. He was also the person that explained to me the science of positive thinking. And without him, I would have never started in my journey of personal development, which led me to the idea of goal mapping in 1994. The other person that has been a really fundamental in my learning journey is an Italian lady called Bruna Ferrari, who I met in 1996. And she has been like a second mother to me and a spiritual teacher, and has helped me to develop my ideas further and to learn how to evolve myself in terms of my self-esteem and self-confidence.
Okay, thank you. Brian, if you had to describe your business and goal mapping in a sentence or two, how would you explain it to someone new to this concept?
My business is really about helping people. It is as simple as that. There's not a lot of extra detail I would add. It's very universal because sometimes I'm helping people with their business or their career. Sometimes I'm helping students with their education and their exams and qualification. Sometimes I'm helping people with their weight loss and well-being. So the thing that is common to all of the areas is helping people. And that's really what my business is about. In terms of goal mapping as a system, it continues to evolve. As you have already shown, in the early days, goal mapping was only on paper because we started in 1995 and people would just have a paper and I would just talk. But gradually it evolved to having a PowerPoint presentation, templates, workbooks, and we created our first online software in 2008. So it was quite early that we started the online work, but really it was only when COVID came and the lockdown that more people were happy and comfortable with learning online and doing their goal maps online. Before COVID, most people wanted to do their maps on paper. But after lockdown, because of COVID, people had become very comfortable with working online and started doing their goal maps online with the online software.
Okay, thank you. What sparked your initial interest in goal mapping industry, and how has that passion evolved over time?
What sparked my initial interest, not in goal mapping, because when I started on my journey, I didn't have goal mapping. I had goal setting and I had personal development. And what inspired me is how much personal development and goal setting helped me. It helped me overcome my dyslexia, learn to read, educate myself, transition my life. When the family business ended, I was £1 million in debt. And £1 million is much more than $1 million. And this was in 1992, 93 that I was £1 million in debt. And goal mapping helped me to get out of that terrible situation. I was £1 million in debt. I was homeless. I was broke and broken as a person. Um, it was a bad situation. Learning personal development and the principles of success and learning about goal setting changed all of that for me. And so I become very passionate about wanting to help other people have that same opportunity to change their life. There are so many people that are in difficult situations, and we can change things with our mind if we learn to think in the correct way. And gradually, I developed my own system to help people to do that, which is goal mapping. And my journey with goal mapping is really about how can I make it as simple but as powerful for people everywhere to use it? Because the more simple and powerful I can make it, the more it's helping people.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's very insightful. Okay, so the next section that we have questions for is called the Business and Industry Insights. So we're going to focus on business, I guess. The first question there is what major challenges have you faced in growing goal mapping business, the goal mapping business? And can you share specific strategies you use to overcome them?
I think the main challenge that I've faced with growing the goal mapping business is that many people have this very casual, naive understanding about how to set goals. Many people think, well, goals are something that I set at New Year's Eve, like a New Year's resolution. And often when I ask people about their goals and they say, oh yeah, I know what I'm going to do next year. And I ask them, have you written it down as your goals? And they say, no, I don't need to write it down because I already know what I want. But it is not enough to know what you want, because people also know what they don't want, and the two thoughts cancel each other out. You think about what you want, and that helps you move forwards, and then you worry that you won't get what you want and you will have failure, and that sends you backwards. Using written goals, and in particular a goal map, helps send a powerful command to your subconscious mind so that you are more often moving towards your goals and making progress. And the challenge is helping people to understand this. And so when someone comes on a goal mapping workshop or they go to the goal mapping website, it is not just a technique for how to set goals. There is also information to inspire people to want to set their goals, because many people simply give up on their dreams. Goal mapping is a way of helping people to dream big, hold on to their dreams, and to get their dreams down into a map. You showed one of your maps earlier, Sophie, two of your maps. In a goal map, and I can hold up one of mine here. There's a main goal, there's side goals, there's why at the top, when, how, and who. And when you are setting goals, it's important not just to think about what you want, but to be clear why you want it, when you want it, how you're going to do it, who is going to help. And so a goal map, it is just one page, but it captures all the important information. And as you have already said, Sophie, it shows it in both words and pictures. So it's stimulating whole brain thinking.
Yes, thank you. So the next question, Which technology and market trends constantly evolving? How do you adapt your approach and keep goal mapping fresh and effective?
The principles of goal mapping are timeless. They are actually thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. The main principle of using words and pictures you will see in all of the ancient cultures around the world. You'll find it everywhere that people in the past, in Hinduism, in Buddhism, in Christianity, in all the different faiths and religions and philosophies, they would always set their intentions using words written as affirmation and pictures as visualization, because that is what's creating the whole brain stimulation. So the principle behind goal mapping is timeless, it's ancient. Technology helps to bring the principle alive. And in the early days of goal mapping, we were goal mapping on paper because that was the easiest way for people to create their maps. And then with the digital age and the internet, people were able to create their goal maps digital. The new age that is coming is goal maps on your mobile phone. I have my goal map here on my mobile phone, but also AI. So this year we will be launching a new Goal Genie AI coach, so that when you're creating your goals, if you're unsure, you can click the button and the Goal Genie coach will make some suggestions about how you word your goals and how you structure your goals and create an action plan for your goals. So we're able to take the old principle and apply any new technology to make the principle alive for people in this modern age.
That's amazing. An AI genie.
AI Genie, AI Goal Genie.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so the next question. What are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about goal mapping or your business, and how do you set the record straight?
I think the biggest misconceptions are that goal setting is something you do at the start of the year. It's all the time. People think that you set goals at the start of the year like New Year's resolutions. No, we are all of us setting goals all of the time, any time of year. So that's one misconception. Another misconception is, I just need to know what I want. No, you need more than that. You need to get it down on paper. Another misconception is people think they only need words. Or some people think, oh, I will use a vision board, dream board, and they only use pictures. Each are limited. If you're only using words or only using pictures, it is limited. And that means it is limiting your goal success. Look at the ancient wisdom, you will see it's whole brain activation that is vital. That means words and pictures. Pictures to stimulate the right brain, creative mind. Words written as affirmation to stimulate the left brain, logical mind. We need both to use. And in terms of helping people to overcome the misconceptions, we run free monthly masterclasses, and we have free video on the platform, which are dedicated to helping people understand how to set their goals and intentions in a powerful way. And we don't charge anything for it because we don't want any barriers. We want to help as many people as we possibly can.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome, Sophie.
What are the most important lessons or skills you've learned from running the goal mapping business that entrepreneurs today can apply?
I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and I'm regularly making workshops and presentations for entrepreneurs. I have a workshop in just 3-4 days' time for a group of 10 entrepreneurs. When I work with entrepreneurs, one of the things that always stands out to me is that many entrepreneurs are good at setting business goals, but they don't always think about personal goals. So they will be very good at setting goals about growing their business, but they don't always set goals or are clear about goals to grow themselves as a person. And so when I run an entrepreneur workshop, like the one I will do in a few days, I want people to set business goals, but I also want them to set personal goals because the two are really joined. If things are not good in our personal life, that has an effect in our business life. Or if things are not good in our business life, that starts to affect us in our personal. We need to take holistic approach. And this has been the learning for myself. Since the beginning with goal mapping, I've focused on using the system to grow my business and to integrate business insights into my goal mapping profession and career. But equally, I'm using it in my personal life. I'm using it in my well-being. I have relationship goal maps and I have financial goal maps. I use it in all the different areas, and I've taught it to my children because I was goal mapping as a business before my children were born, and so they have grown up with it. My oldest is now 23 and my youngest is nearly 19, and they have always known goal mapping and used it in their education and now in their university and work throughout the years. And there have been a lot of small insights, but the biggest insight with goal mapping is it works when you work it. Maybe there will be some people listening to this, Sophie, that think, oh, I know the information about now setting goals. But it's actually not knowing that makes goal mapping work. It is doing, it's creating your own goal map, like you have, Sophie. Because in creating the goal map, what actually happens is you're creating the brain cell connections that form new beliefs that have an influence on your subconscious mind and move you towards the achievement of your goal. And so it's using the technique. And this is why the digital goal mapping works so well, because it makes it much easier for people to use their map, share their map. And if they're in business, they share it with their boss or they share it with their team, and they can update their map. And it becomes like a living plan to support people in shaping their future the way that they would like it to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. It works for me all the time. Thank you so much, Brian, for your insights. So the next section we're going to talk about is profitability and growth. So what strategies have you implemented to maximize profitability and sustain growth in your business, Brian?
Well, it may not be the best business strategy, Sophie, but I've decided a long time ago to put people first and profit second. So my goals, when I set them each year, together with my partner, Vicky, who runs the business with me, we are partners in life and partners in business. When we set our goals, we are setting goals around how many people we want to help. And then we think about how much money do we need to make afterwards. Sometimes we are helping people for free because simply the people have no money. And other times we are earning a good income from the help we give. When we do corporate work and we have big organizations like Microsoft, Siemens, Disney, Coca-Cola, many, many more, Starbucks, who have used goal mapping, that's very profitable for us. And the profit that we make working with big organizations helps us to then give the goal mapping system for free to people who need it but can't afford to pay much. So we have, it's called a freemium model. So it's free, but then there is a premium level. We focus on our high-end customers, our corporate customers, or very wealthy individuals, and give them the very best service we can. That helps us to make enough income that we can then provide our service for people who are at a much more basic level and need support but don't always have the finances. There is other people, I'm sure, with smaller organizations than the goal mapping organization that are more profitable. But that is because they're not doing things for free and they're only doing things for money. I'm a little dismayed with the personal development industry because I think it's become quite money motivated. And the challenge is that many people that are attracted to personal development are people that are looking for help, and sometimes they are vulnerable people. And it's not good, in my opinion, that those people are sold to, and sometimes their money is taken, but they're not getting the value that was promised to them. So we put people first, we put profit second, and it's the way I've always worked since now more than 30 years.
Yeah, thank you. So you have a system of high value clients, and then you have a system for people that are lower value clients.
Yes, everybody
Yeah.
can access the same system for
Yeah.
free. We have a
Yeah.
free registration,
Yeah.
and we don't insist that people move to the premium.
Yeah.
The people that do move to the premium, they obviously get extra
Yeah.
because we're giving them coaching sessions or more training sessions.
Yeah.
But it is the profit that comes from those people at the premium level that then allows us to give freely for people that are at the lower levels.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Freemium.
Yeah, the premium. Yeah. So the next question, what key metrics or measures do you use to access and track the performance of your business?
It's people like you saying I've achieved my goals. It's seeing those contrast pictures, Sophie. You know,
Yeah.
here I was when I was a lot of pounds, and here I am after achieving my goal.
Yeah.
We have some great testimony from people. We have case studies from Microsoft, British Telecom, Siemens. We've got government feedback because we've worked with the UK government and other governments. There's a lot of ways that we're able to track how successful goal mapping is. And without any advertising, we've attracted a lot of people who want to be coaches and trainers of goal mapping and take the certification program. So there are now more than 1,600 people certified around the world. Some of them are in their retirement years. Some of them are only teenagers. Some of them are business people. Some are therapists. It's a really diverse community. But because these people are coming and asking to be certified without marketing, for me, that is a good metric. It's a good evidence that it's working because it has its own life now.
Yeah. Thank you. So the next question, how do you identify emerging opportunities and what's your approach to capitalizing on them to drive growth?
Could you just say that one more time, please?
How do you identify emerging opportunities and what's your approach to capitalize on them to drive growth?
Again, I would say that my priority is helping people. And so when an opportunity comes and it's a well-paid opportunity, but for only a small number of people, like 10 people, of course that's important because it's funded. But sometimes an opportunity comes that maybe I speak to 100 people or even 1,000 people, but there is no payment. And I take the free opportunity because my priority is to help as many people as possible. So if I have two opportunities and one is 10 people and there is some money, and the other opportunity is 1,000 people but no money, I will take the 1,000 people opportunity every time. Ultimately, I know that if I'm speaking to 1,000 people, if they create their goal maps, some of those people will want to buy something. They will want to buy a book. They will want to buy a course. They will want to tell other people about goal mapping. And so big numbers of people is the most profitable thing for me. And it's one of the reasons why I moved away from corporate training and into public speaking and big conferences like the one where you saw me when I was a trainer presenting at one of the Tony Robbins events.
Yeah.
That's what brings in the numbers. And I want to help as many people as possible. My target is to reach 7 million people.
Yeah. Well, you're almost there. You got 6 million now.
Well, and a few more after your podcast.
Yeah, that's right. There'll be some more. I'm trying to spread it in Canada, the United States. We're trying to advertise this.
You're a grand person.
Yeah. So the next question, what's the most important advice you could give to entrepreneurs aiming to boost profitability in their business?
Focus on serving your client. Treat your employees well. Treat your own people with respect, because sometimes I don't see that. I know some personal development people who are up on stage, talking a lot of love, and they treat their own people really badly. So treat your own people well, regardless of the business you are in, and put your customers first. I think in a world where we have so many now AI chat bots, I was trying to contact my bank over the recent days. It's been so hard to speak to someone, to contact someone. People appreciate being treated well. And I think more and more in this modern digital world, the people that see personal care are going to be people that give loyalty. And with that loyalty, they are going to also commit their business. So I think putting people at the center of your purpose rather than profit is the way forward.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, thank you for those insights. So we're into the next section, personal and professional development. We have 3 questions in there. Brian, are there specific habits and daily practices that have been crucial to your personal growth and effectiveness?
Yes, for sure. So one is goal mapping. And the reason my goal map is here on my desk, Sophie, is because I look at it all the time. I look at it every day. It's not here because we're doing podcast interview. It's here because it's always here in my desk. I have more than one map. This is my goal map for happiness. This is my business goal map with my to-do list opposite. I have more than one map. So goal mapping and my ritual with goal mapping, look at my map, make my action plan, follow through on the things that I need to do. I also think it's important journal. At least once each week, I will journal. I write in my journal. I think about what has happened this week. What are my learnings this week? What are my insights this week? And I have my own coach. I think it's really good to have a coach because a coach will ask you honest questions, sometimes questions that you do not want to ask yourself. And a good coach will ask that, and by asking questions, it helps you raise your awareness and to consider things that otherwise you might just push away. When something goes wrong in my life or in my business, the first question I ask is, what can I learn from this? Because I believe every mistake or failure is a learning opportunity. And mistakes and failures will always come. It is just part of life that we will make mistakes or things will not work out the way that we wish. But if you are questioning yourself and if you are learning, why did that mistake happen? What went wrong? And then you take that learning and you apply it to your next attempt. That is part of the process of success. And so that for me has been the most important principles that I've followed. That and thinking positively, because positive thinking is a natural ability, but it's also a science. We can learn how to turn on the natural ability, how to think positively more often. And what positive thinking helps us to do is to find the opportunities in life that are often clouded by some dark cloud of difficulty. There are always opportunities in life. In fact, life in this modern age is changing faster than ever before for people. And every time there is change, it also creates new opportunity. But we don't always see the opportunity. Sometimes all we see is what is wrong, the difficulty. Positive thinking helps us to see past the difficulty, the cloud, and we see the silvery lining, the opportunity. And although it's a natural thing, learning simple techniques like goal mapping so that we can turn it on is a powerful tool to help us in achievement, whether that's business achievement or personal achievement.
Yes, that's exactly right. Thanks again. So the second question is, when faced with challenges or setbacks, how do you stay motivated and keep pushing forward? I guess you kind of talked about that.
Well, kind of, but there is an extra element,
Yeah.
which is I really believe it's my purpose to help people and teach people how to set their goals in a powerful way. It's just my belief, but I really believe it. And I've believed it now for 30 years. And some days are really hard. Some days I feel tired and I'm disappointed because something has gone wrong. And whenever I feel that way, it is remembering the people that I've helped, people like yourself, that encourages me to continue. And it's amazing what you can achieve if you continue. I think many people give up just before they would have a big breakthrough. If only they would continue, they would. And it's not enough to just continue. You need to continue and learn from the mistakes.
Yes.
So it is, as you pointed out, what I just said, that you learn from the mistake, you apply the new learning, you take another step, and gradually you find your way. I've had many times in my 30 years of goal mapping where I thought, oh no, I just can't do it, and I want to give up, and I'm tired, and then I think about all the people I've helped, all the nice messages and letters people have sent me, telling me how they've used goal mapping to help them with something important. And as soon as I think about those things, the difficult time that I'm in doesn't feel so difficult. Sometimes I think I just cannot see a way out of this difficult situation. But if you keep going, you do find a way out. That's my experience.
Yeah, that's a wonderful way of looking at it. Okay, the third question in this section. What business books, podcasts, and other resources have been most instrumental in your success?
There are a lot. Uh, I like old books. I like ancient wisdom and old books more than I like modern personal development. There are a lot of good modern personal development books, but I also really like the old ones. I think one of the modern books that was really important for me was Psycho-Cybernetics. Maxwell Maltz, an American gentleman. He was actually a plastic surgeon in the 1950s who became interested in personal development and wrote one of the very early self-help books. I've been very influenced over the years by other American, Canadian speakers and trainers, people like Dr. Stephen Covey. I become one of his trainers, certified trainers, teaching his program called the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Brian Tracy and his work on the psychology of success, another very important book for me. And then some of the more ancient books. I'm not particularly a religious person, but the Gospel of Thomas has been a very important book for me. It's not included in the Bible. It was one of the books that never made it into the New Testament, but you can get copies of the Gospel of Thomas, and it is like a science of the mind. It is very different from mainstream Christianity, but I found that book to be incredibly helpful.
Very interesting. Okay. So another section called Consulting, Collaboration, and Community. And there's 3 questions in there. Brian, have you worked with consultants or sought outside advice throughout your journey? How did you experience impact? How did that experience impact your business?
I've worked with many consultants and consultant organizations. Sometimes my work with consultants is that they are advising me in how to shape my business. Sometimes I'm working with consultants because they are a collaboration with a big corporation. So my focus with goal mapping is on personal development. But quite often, the personal development program will also have some business development that is being supplied by a consultant. And typically that business development will be focused on systems, process, policy. And my work is focused on people. But the two come together to create harmonious culture within the organization. And when you have a culture in the organization, whether that is a corporate organization or it's a government organization, if you have harmony in the department, in the culture, everybody is supported to do their best. But when it is not harmonious, and I have worked in many negative cultures where people feel crushed by either the senior management or by policies in the culture, nobody then does their best. And it just creates a situation where many people feel sick or unwell, and customers of the organization are not treated in the best way or supported to achieve why they joined the organization or signed up for the programs to begin with.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that happen before.
I've seen it so often, Sophie. It's such a shame. Sometimes it's bureaucracy.
Yeah, bureaucracy. Yeah.
In a negative organization, when the culture is negative in the organization,
Yeah.
it is the most negative people that rise to the top.
Yes. Yes.
because they are the people that
That
do well
perpetuate.
in a negative culture.
Yeah. They
But
perpetuate the values, the true
yeah, yes,
values.
yes,
Not
absolutely.
necessarily the values that not necessarily the values that are written down. They perpetuate what is happening in reality.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a very important observation.
Yeah.
And I will add to it, Sophie, when I've seen this, and I've seen it many times, sometimes in very big organizations and government organizations, quite often it's just one person at the top who is acting in a very negative way, but it sort of sets the example for how other people need to act
Yes. Yes.
if they want to progress in the organization. It creates a negative culture. It can
Yeah.
survive for a little while, but ultimately the culture becomes self-destructing.
Yes.
And
It like ministers, like for example, ministers of a department.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly that.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go on. The next question, how do you optimize productivity in your daily operations to maintain focus and drive results?
We listen to feedback from our customers. We use our own trainings and systems ourselves all the time so that we have a real experience of are things working, not working. So we are hands-on with using all our own materials so we know what's working. And when we hear feedback from people that something isn't good or they haven't had a good experience, we go and investigate with an open mind. Sometimes people complain and really there is nothing to complain about, they're just being negative. Other times people are complaining because they've not had a good experience, and when we investigate, we find that something is broken or we think it's working in a good way, but for the customer, it's not working the way that we wish. And so we take regular feedback and we make quick, responsive changes to make sure that we are shaping our services and our product in a way that genuinely supports people. And it's quite diverse because we have so many different types of people using goal mapping. There are business people, there are school children, there are people that are in therapy and well-being. And so with such a diverse community, there are many different things we need to look at on a regular basis to make sure that our customer journey is working in the best way that it can for the widest possible audience.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Okay, what role has networking and collaboration with other businesses locally and globally played in your success?
Oh, well, it's been an enormous influence on the success. Not so much locally. I live on a small island in the south of England, and there are not so many businesses where I live. My work locally has been more with the community and helping students in education and people within community cafes and local groups. My business work has mostly been within UK nationally, but more than that has been the international business. And I am regularly traveling to other countries to make presentations, or that I'm making online presentations. In these last 7 years, especially since lockdown and COVID. The increase in online presentations has been enormous. But it is the business presentations that have brought in the major income to goal mapping, so that I have the ability to give freely to a local school, for instance. But also, business presentations have taught me so much, because if I'm presenting to a group of salespeople or senior managers and I talk about the benefits of positive thinking, business people will question me and challenge me. They say, what about this? And that makes me think much deeper. And it's actually been the business presentations over many years, since the first business presentation in 1995, that's more than 30 years ago. So it's been all the questions that people have asked in presentations that has made me think deeper. And when I see something that needs to be improved, I change it. And so it has shaped the evolution and journey of goal mapping over many years.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I can see how that could happen. Okay, so we're getting at the before last section. Looking forward, where do you see goal mapping, the goal mapping industry heading in the next 5 years? And what should entrepreneurs be ready for?
I think in the next 5 years, we will have more and more people like you, Sophie, good-hearted, genuine people wanting to make a difference, being courageous, trying something new, doing good things. And that will help goal mapping get to more people. I think one of the ways in which it would change is that with more and more technology to help people go online, use their mobile phone and AI, we will be able to help more people in more ways to set more powerful goals, so that they are achieving their best dreams and wishes.
Yeah, I agree. The second question, as the industry evolves, how do you intend to stay ahead of future developments and continue driving innovation?
I employ good technology people. I'm 65 and I'm staying aware of the technology changes, and I'm also aware that there are younger people than me that know the technology much better. So I'm employing some younger people, and I listen to younger people. I listen to people that are using goal mapping, people that have new ideas. I listen to my own children, because I know that it is the younger people that have those new ideas and are more connected with what technology can do. When I was young, my father owned a gaming arcade, a Musen arcade. And when I was 13, 14, it was the beginning of there being digital games in amusement arcades. It was no longer just like pull the handle and the wheels spin on a gaming fruit machine, for instance, like a one-armed bandit, they were called in England. People were playing the new digital machines, Space Invaders, ping pong. My father made a smart decision. He would not decide which of the new digital games to buy, he would let me decide which of the new digital games to buy. Because when I was 14, my father was in his 50s, and he was smart enough to know that he needed someone younger than him to identify what the new trends were. And so I become the buyer of the digital machines back then. I'm now doing the same thing. I have two tech guys that work for me. They're doing the coding and the development. They tell me what new things are possible, what new trends there are. But then I apply those new trends to ancient principle, and I see where there is a fit. How does the new trend bring the ancient principle alive? Because ancient principle is normally timeless. That means it is always important. Technology just means there are new ways to use it, new ways to apply it. So it's a balance. I can have my value by knowing the ancient principle, and my younger guys, they have their value by knowing the newer trends and what is now possible with new technology.
Yeah, that's an amazing combination of the new and the old. So we're now in the wrap up and promotion section. So Brian, what upcoming projects, promotions, or events are you excited to share with our listeners?
For me, the most
we want to expand this in Canada and United States. So here we want to be able to promote this to as many people as possible once it gets loaded up in YouTube.
Yeah, bless you, Sophie. I think for me, the most important thing is finding more people like you. Good people, honest people, want to both use the technique and share the technique, help other people with it. And we run a constant, ongoing training program, coaching program where people can join at any time to learn how to coach others in goal mapping. We also have free monthly masterclasses where people can learn how to do their goal maps. And we are, of course, always supplying our online software so that even without a coach or without a presentation, people can come, they can click, watch the video, and they can follow through. But the most powerful thing is always to have someone like you, Sophie, that is coaching the person to do their goal map. You can do it on your own, but when you have someone that knows the system, and more than that, someone like you that's achieved a big goal with the system, with losing that a huge amount of extra pounds to get down to a healthier pound weight. That's really important because you're not just getting a coach, you're talking to someone that has a real experience of using the system and achieving the goal. So those are the things that excite me and are most meaningful.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm also trying to do this to work with business entrepreneurs in the Ottawa Valley with my business. So I want to transform businesses and use it as part of my startup business and help them uh, transform their businesses along with their business. So
The thing that is really beneficial with goal mapping is that it's a universal system.
Yeah.
So you learn the principles by applying it to your weight loss. Those same principles can be applied in just the same way to your business activities. So just because your entry point into goal mapping was about your health and well-being, that means that it's still equally as relevant when you're helping people grow their business.
Yes. Thank you. Where can our listeners go to find more about your work and to support your business?
Well, to the goal mapping platform, and I suggest that they go there through the link that you will share within this podcast. Because within the goal mapping platform, they can access all the free content and information. They can see recordings of past masterclasses. And most importantly, they're able to create their map. They can even find the coaching page from you, Sophie, and connect with what you have done with goal mapping and how they can follow through.
Yeah, I'll put my goal mapping link. I'll put it in the notes of the podcast. I'll put my link, and I would be honored for anybody that would want to be coached by me. So it would be good for Canadians and Americans to be coached by somebody in North America.
Absolutely.
It's easier for the time zones.
Well, and you have the experience now, Sophie.
Yeah, yeah. And before we wrap up, is there anything I haven't asked you that you think our listeners should know about your business or your mission?
No, I think you've been very thorough. I
Yeah,
think you've asked some really good questions, and I know you've put a lot of work into preparing for today. And I want to say, big well done. I'm very impressed with you, Sophie.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I did a thorough breakdown of a good number of questions, and I'm really honored and grateful that you did this podcast for us today.
It's my pleasure, Sophie. I'm pleased you asked me.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now. Just 1 second. Thank you so much for being on here today.
You're very welcome.